Good afternoon, folks. Just gonna do a screen record here of, well, we're gonna be talking about a couple different things. First thing we're gonna talk about is the reopening here in BC, in British Columbia, here in Canada, in regards to restaurants and how things have changed. So, a lot of the people have, a lot of these different restaurants have a couple paragraphs talking about how we're going to stay safe in this new normal and all this nonsense and bullshit and psychological conditioning, not from their part, but from the WHO, the World Health Organization. Anyway, so here, right now I'm on joeysrestaurants.com. This is a local company that does have, they do have restaurants in all over Canada. They have them in the United States as well, in Seattle, LA. But I want to show you exactly what the hell's going on here about how they're going to come back and make everyone stay safe. It's like, I got nothing to get. Joey's is a good restaurant, but one of the things with food is how you present your food. Also, how you present your hostesses, your hosts, your chefs, your waiters, waitresses, all that stuff. Now, I'm not knocking Joey's restaurant at all. I don't blame them for this. This is just something they have to do, and I totally get it. I'm just showing you the ridiculousness that they themselves have to entail and go through in order to open up their restaurants. First of all, the employees must undergo health checks, sure. They can't work unless they have any signs of illness. They have to wear masks and gloves. So everyone that's touching your food is using masks and gloves. Like the latex gloves touching my food, latex gloves, I don't know, I think that's, for me, I think that's even worse than a human hand. Like if you wash your hands before you start preparing my food, I'd rather have that than you wearing gloves. That's just me. Social distancing signage displayed throughout the restaurant. Very important. Does anyone realize where social distancing, that word, that catchphrase came from? And it actually came from, I think it's called Contagion with Lawrence Fishburne and other actors. That was, I can't remember what year it was, but that's where the actual catchphrase came from originally. So every second table is not used to ensure physical distancing. Like I said in other videos, these people are going to be losing at least 50% of their profit because every second table will not be used. So it means half the tables will not be used. Everything's sanitized after each use. Nothing is brought to the table unless each person is seated. Cutlery is wrapped in a napkin. Menus are single use, so that means they throw those in the garbage. So we don't have to worry about climate change anymore. That's out the window. We don't have to worry about killing trees. That doesn't matter anymore. Now, everything is single use, so we have to throw these out. F all the trees. It does not matter. It's all about COVID-19. Contactless payment is very important now in our post COVID-19 or in the midst of this scamdemic. And guests, of course, should not display any signs of illness. But they also have a video. So let's see. To see what you can expect when you come for your next visit, please watch this video. Okay, where is it? Beautiful. Now get a load of this. Sanitize that hand. How inviting is that to see people dressed like that? It looks like you're going into an ER room. This guy looks like he's a welder. Just pause this for a sec. Let's close some of this stuff here. At least they got a nice beat, nice background music. But once again, she's wearing black gloves, very classy. She looks like she's gonna perform some kind of bank robbery the way she's dressed with her gloves and same time. So pretty funny stuff. Here's another surgeon, aka a waiter. Oh, look at him. He's not following protocol. He's wearing white latex transparent gloves. Oh, now we've got black gloves again. He's wearing a black mask. Very, very classy. Oh, there's the welder slash chef. And he's wearing gloves. That's very nice. And everyone's so happy to eat there in this COVID-19 environment. They're wearing gloves. They're wearing a mask. Very enticing to go to Joey's. And once again, maintain that distance. 6 feet. 6 feet, guys. And you can pay using your phone now. And you can order using your phone. So you sit in the restaurant and use your phone.
We're ready for you.
Order. We're ready for you, you see. Very good. Very good. Joey's Restaurants. Okay. So once again, I want to reiterate, I have no anger at all towards Joey's Restaurant. If I was a restaurant owner, I would probably have to do the same thing. These people have millions of dollars invested into all these restaurants that they own. They're losing money hand over fist every single day the longer this continues. So they're trying to get up and running, doing as much as they can, working in these ridiculous requirements. So when you go to the restaurant, you're going to be seated by people with gloves, people with masks. No one's going to be smiling at you. Everyone looks like an NPC character. It's ridiculous. Everyone looks like a robot. Not knocking the people who work there. I totally feel sorry for them in this situation. But this is what we're going to expect now. Now you tell me, are you willing to go to a restaurant when it's going to be like that? I don't know if I will. Maybe I'll try it once. But at the end of the day, I'm simply not going to be visiting restaurants at the same amount that I was before. Not that I went a lot, but I'm gonna go much less now because this is just I can't. I know I should be supporting these restaurants, but I simply cannot support what I call a fake pandemic. I can't support this whole agenda being pushed onto the entire world by the World Health Organization. I simply can't support it. And this is how I make my protest. My silent protest is simply by not visiting these restaurants. The same way I choose not to go to Costco, and I just go to other local areas, local grocery chains that don't have the bloody lineups that Costco does. If Costco wants to run their grocery store in a certain way, I don't have to abide by it. I can just simply vote with my dollars, and I'll buy my food elsewhere. That's just all I'm going to do now. Especially if they're going to require us to wear masks and stuff like that. I probably should go there with my Guy Fawkes mask, the mask I've been wearing, the V for Vendetta mask. Just to go there and, I don't know, make a point, whatever. But I haven't had the energy to even deal with it. I just rather stay home and just not visit these stupid chains the least amount possible, because really it just gets me so fired up inside. It's not good for my blood pressure. It pisses me off to no end, trust me. So currently here, guys, we are in phase 2 of BC's careful restart plan. Phase 2, mid-May onwards. So they're going to start opening up dentists, chiropractors, child cares, parks and beaches, restaurants, cafes, pubs, hair salons, sports, recreation. So phase 3, further restoration of services under enhanced protocols. Now phase 4 is what we need to be concerned about, like I've said in other videos, because all of these measures, social distancing, wearing gloves, wearing masks, all the waiters, waitresses, hostesses at these different restaurants. When I went to get my hair cut, one lady was wearing one of those welder mask type things. They were wearing gloves, they were wearing masks. Like I said, everybody looks like they're a health professional right now. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. And all that stuff, all of those safety precautions that they call them, are going to be continued until phase 4. Now phase 4, last time I checked, was, well, basically it's going to be anytime after September, to be discussed. So phase 4, there will be no large gatherings. Like I said before, no concerts, no hockey games, no soccer games, no big venues, no conferences until vaccination, conditional on vaccination or treatment. So I don't know exactly what they mean by treatment. Vaccination means obviously we have to get injected. So once again, nothing will return to normal until there's a vaccination, just like Bill Gates said, just like Justin Trudeau said. So all of this will be continued. So this is the new normal. Like they've said, they weren't lying. This is going to be our new normal because nothing's going to change until a vaccine comes out. Vaccines usually take anywhere from 8 to 12 years to finalize and make safe. But these people are fast tracking everything. They're already having clinical trials in Canada. A Chinese lab is actually has already created clinical trials, and now they're going to be tested on Canadians. So I find that hysterical. And anyone who takes those trials, I hope you're getting paid a lot of money to be a guinea pig, because I wouldn't be caught near any of those needles if you even paid me like $1 million. No way. I just do not trust anything that they're trying to give us. So that's what's going to happen. Hopefully you guys enjoy going to restaurants in this manner. Okay, let's take a look at those COVID death rates in BC and see exactly how many people have died. I haven't looked at this lately, death rates. So in British Columbia, we're at 161, recovered 2,100. We had confirmed cases of 2,500. Now, Dr. Bunny says she's not going to, I think she said she's not going to open more stuff or go to phase 3 unless the cases are in the single digits now of COVID-19. Now, once again, critical thinking cap on. Let's put that hat on, everybody. Did everybody put it on? I hope so. I think I saw a couple people, they didn't put on that hat. Now, put on the critical thinking cap and let's look at this. Now, have they tested everybody in British Columbia out of the 5,071,000 people that live here? No. So how do they know how many people actually had COVID-19? How can they confirm that? They've only tested a certain amount of people. So in actuality, and this is just logic, but I know a lot of people don't have logical sense, and that's fine. Just keep wearing your dunce cap. But at the end of the day, this is what happens. The amount of confirmed cases is probably tenfold at least, because the amount of people that they've tested is very low. Not even 10% of the population of British Columbia. That would be 500,000 people, right? Let's actually test. Let's see if we can find an article showing how many people they've actually tested for COVID-19. Let's see. Okay, so here we are. arcgis.com. It's a website associated with the British Columbia COVID-19 testing. So I was wondering how many people they actually tested in British Columbia. So total tests that they've done is 135,000 total tests. Total tests is 135,000. Am I reading that correctly? Let me just double check this. Don't want to make mistakes. Okay, so total tests is 135,000 since all of this began. Now we have a population in British Columbia of, like I said, 5,071,000 people. So they haven't tested not even 10% of, they've tested not even 5%. It's roughly about 3%, roughly. 135 people they've tested out of 5,071,000. So they've got confirmed cases of 2,500. So do you see how the numbers are skewed here? Like the actual death rate is even much, much less than all of this because they haven't tested. Obviously, there's more people who've come in contact with this virus in the past 3 or 4 months in BC because they haven't tested everybody. So the numbers are skewed, meaning that a lot more people have had COVID-19 that have actually come back from it completely fine. The only time they're going to test you is probably either if you go into an emergency room or a hospital for some other issues, or you just go there, maybe you said I feel sick, I think I have COVID, they'll test you for it, or they're going to test you when you die. So for sure the death cases, most likely the 161 people are probably real, I would think. But most of those, like I said before, are coming from care homes in mostly. A lot of them actually started in North Vancouver. Most of the cases are over 80% are from people with underlying issues. So is anything clicking for anybody out there? Is anyone thinking, yeah, this is pretty effed up? So the number of cases, actually, there should be way more corona cases because they haven't tested everybody. That means the amount of people dying, the death rate is much, much less. Meaning, of course, that this is not nearly as dangerous of a disease that we're led to believe. Now, if a guy like me can shoot a video like this in his home office, why isn't it possible for health officials in British Columbia, health officials in Canada, health officials in the United States, and all these other different countries to use the same metrics and tell the people that it's not as serious as it sounds? We just want to be clear, but you should wear a mask. Like, they can be honest and they have their fear in there as well, but they're not being honest. They're misleading us with the actual numbers, because these numbers are correct from the amount of people tested, but they haven't tested everybody. Bottom line, what I'm trying to say is that this means that COVID-19 is not nearly as deadly, not nearly as dangerous as they make it out to be. And that's the bottom line. You're looking at the numbers right in front of you. I'm not making this up. This isn't a conspiracy theory. You can do the research yourself if you want to. I know most of you don't want to. That's fine. I'm just pointing out the facts because I like to look at real numbers and real facts as much as possible so I can just see for myself. Does it make sense to me, or are they bullshitting me? And in this situation, they're not lying about the cases, but they're definitely skewed. The numbers are skewed just because they're omitting. They're not telling us that they haven't tested everybody in BC. So the actual deadliness of this virus is not nearly as high as they make it out to be. So why are we playing this charade? Why do people at these different restaurants have to wear gloves and masks when the death rate is like 0.000 whatever percent? It's just stupid. It's just dumb, and we're just getting hoodwinked. We're getting misled, charaded, all that stuff. For what? I don't even know what we're all doing. We're playing this game of deadly virus. I feel like I'm in the movie Contagion, and there's nothing wrong. And everyone's just playing along with the movie. Some people are playing along. They're better actors than I am. I'm a shitty actor. I don't wear my gloves or mask. And I am not terrified. So I'm really bad at acting when it comes to COVID-19. I'm probably the worst actor you would ever find. So this is it. These are the numbers. You're looking at them. It's a joke. It's a joke. And even if you talk about like places like, back in Quebec, Ontario, New York, Italy and stuff like that, start looking at the other numbers. I haven't done it everywhere. I'm just looking to BC because I live here. If I was in New York and these other places, I would definitely check more. I don't want to keep going into all the different areas and looking at how many people died, how many people had cases in their actual population. You can go on forever with this stuff. It just goes on and on and on. Bottom line is we are being misled because they're omitting information that I think is important. So we're going to look at COVID-19 related deaths. Or no, actually, in a second we'll do that. Right now I'm going to look at regular influenza flu deaths. And this is from December 9th, 2019. And this is on a trusted website. It's trusted. It's a .gov website. NIH, what is it? United U.S. National Library of Medicine, National Institutes of Health. And it's a .gov website, nih.gov. This is a government website. It's not a fake YouTube video. This is not just some conspiracy donkey wearing a tinfoil hat living in his basement. These are statistical numbers coming directly from the government. So hopefully we can all be on board and understand these are legit numbers. These are not coming from just regular people posting videos. Anyway, so here. Okay, so the World Health Organization, our friends, estimate the mortality burden of influenza to be between 250,000, 250,000 people to 500,000 worldwide. However, a 2017 study, that's 3 years ago, indicated a higher number, between 290,000 to 650,000 flu influenza associated deaths from respiratory causes alone. So, those are the numbers right there for you. So I don't know if I'm reading this wrong. This is the background. Let's read the results. Maybe it'll. I think we should probably looking at the results. So we estimate an average of 389,000. So uncertainty range. So they're basically saying 294,000 to 518,000 respiratory deaths were associated with influenza globally each year during the study period. 2% of the all annual respiratory deaths. Of these, 67% of the people were 65 years or older. So this is, now if we go look here, so you're talking between basically 300,000 and 518,000 had respiratory issues with associated with the flu globally. And most of these people over 65 years of age. Now if you go over here, we've had so far 348,000 deaths Go back here again. So it's in that range right there. So once again, if people die from the flu every year, and now people are dying from COVID-19, roughly, and they're in the same ballpark roughly. I know we're still going through this, but the numbers are not double, the numbers are not triple or quadruple. So why the fuck are we still locked down? Once again, look at the fucking numbers. Look at this stuff. Does it make sense to you that we're locked down when you can see the deaths worldwide at 348 and sorry, here it is. And the numbers here, 389 roughly, but they say the range is between 294 to 518. It's in the same category. I don't know what else to tell people when they have arguments with me. Oh, but it's more contagious and it's more this and more that. If it's more contagious, then I don't know what to tell you. Stay home as long as you want then. Like, this is not the pandemic that should bring the world to its knees. And if you think that, please stay home, because you shouldn't be out in public if you're thinking that this is going to kill you. It just, for me, it's ridiculous on top of stupidity. And that's just how I feel about it. And it's not like I just blew that out of my ass. I'm trying to look at legitimate numbers here. These are actually, this is coming directly from Google, and they get the cases. Where are they finding this information? Here, this one says it's directly coming from google.com/COVID-19-map. So you would think that Google hopefully is posting legitimate information, because they the ones that are posting that. This is not from another website. This is directly from their website. Well, the source is Wikipedia. So can we trust Wikipedia with that or not? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Like, I don't know where what you think is trusted and what's not. I'm trying to give everyone the most factual information possible, and then people still just don't want to realize it. It's like, do you want to live in fear? I guess you do. Like, I'd rather not live in fear unless I really need to. But it seems like there's, people out there, like, you see them walking around wearing masks and gloves and all that other shit, just want to play the role, want to be part of the crowd, or they're just scared shitless. I don't know, but most of those people, I'm pretty sure, have not looked at these numbers. And if they did, like, I don't know what was going on in their brain at the time that didn't click and say, you know what, maybe it's not as big of a deal as I thought it was. But those numbers are there. They don't lie. So why are we still locked up? Why are we going to go to restaurants where the waitresses are wearing gloves and a mask and a welder's face mask and all this stuff? Why are we doing all this? What the hell's the end game here? What is it? Is it all this stuff? Is it part of the reopen plan or whatever, where they want to vaccinate everybody? Where is that information? Phase 4. Pretty amazing if you ask me. So, like, where do we go from here? If the deaths are roughly the same as the regular influenza season, they never shut down anything, they never close anything, why are all these businesses suffering? Why is everyone suffering and everyone in this whole nightmare? Ask yourself that question. You should ask yourself, why are we in this situation if the death rates are roughly the same? What are we doing here? Okay, so this is Bill Gates. This is on the CNBC website. My best investment turned $10 billion into $200 billion worth of economic benefit. Now, he's talking specifically about the vaccines. Bill Gates and the return on investment in vaccinations. I don't want to play the whole thing. I found a shorter clip on YouTube. So I hope you guys can trust me on that, because it is on YouTube. You know, everything on there is not legit. But anyways, let's play that so people can see what Uncle Billy said himself. Let's make it full screen here. There's Billy. Let's go.
You've invested $10 billion in vaccinations over the last 2 decades, and you figured out the return on investment for that. And it kind of stunned me. Can you walk us through the math?
Over a 20-to-1 return. So if you just look at the economic benefits, that's a pretty strong number compared to anything else.
I think the numbers that you ran through were, if you had put that money into an S&P 500 and reinvested the dividends, you'd come up with something like $17 billion, but you think it's $200 billion.
Here, yeah.
Dang it. 1 sec.
Here, yeah.
Okay, let's just pause that. So I don't know about anybody else, but if he's actually telling us on CNBC News that he's making a 1 to 20 profit on vaccine investment, vaccine donations, or whatever you want to call it, funding, does anyone see there's possibly a conflict of interest in what he's trying to do? Like, let's just put a couple of the pieces of the puzzle together. So nothing can get normal in BC. Phase 4 requires us, and they don't know what that's to be TBD, to be discussed. This is going to be anytime after September. Nothing's going to get back to normal until, and he said this, Bill Gates has said this, Justin Trudeau has said this, and probably other world leaders have said this. I think even Trump said it, the idiot. That nothing's going to get back to normal until there's a vaccine. Who's funding the vaccines? Bill Gates. And who is going to be responsible for dictating to all the countries across the world exactly which vaccines to take, which ones are safe? The World Health Organization, which Bill Gates is funding, and he's also funding the vaccine development. Does not anyone out there see a conflict of interest? Can you not see that possibly, just maybe a 1% chance that there could be some corruption in the world? Or do you still think all this stuff is just a bunch of conspiracy theory garbage? Like, I don't know when reality sets in for a lot of the people walking around wearing masks, running with masks, bike riding with masks, playing tennis with masks. When are they going to clue in and understand that the villain in all of this bad movie that we're all playing a role in is in fact this dirtbag that lives just south of me in Seattle, Washington? If people haven't figured out, they can't figure that out, well, I don't know what to tell you. It doesn't really, to put all this stuff together isn't that difficult. Obviously, our media is not going to tell us this information, but you can just see it here. I'm showing you videos of him saying the 1 in 20 return. We all know that he's the one that's funding and giving the most money to the World Health Organization. We all know he's the one on the news talking about vaccines and nothing gets to normal until there's a vaccine. What else is there to say? What else is there to say? And that's where I end this video. Let you think a bit, even though, like I said, most people just would rather die than think. They simply do not want to think. They want all the officials and everybody above them to do the thinking for them. Yeah, they're going to do all the thinking for you. He's doing all the thinking for you, and he's going to give you a nice, delicious vaccine so he can make a profit and probably fuck up hundreds of thousands of people, maybe millions. It depends how, if he's going to try to push this onto 7 billion people, you're going to probably have the biggest amount of vaccine. You are going to have the largest amount of vaccine injury the world has ever seen. But we don't know what that looks like at this point because it hasn't come to fruition yet, but it will. That's where I leave this video. Thank you for watching it. I do appreciate it, guys. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, and share this everywhere. This is easily found information if you want to know what the truth is. All the haters, please leave comments. Let's debate this if you want to. I don't know what there is to debate, but I guess you can if you want. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.